Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Navs Effect podcast. I'm your host, Naveen Ganglani. It's great to have you back here. If you're a returning listener of the podcast, much appreciated. If you happen to be a new listener, giving our podcast the chance to earn your time, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Now, Karl Batungbacal joins us once again. We're going to have a UAAP discussion. And today it's going to be a little different from our usual game recaps and game observations. We're going to rank who we think are the 10 best players in the UAAP today. So it's going to be fun, exciting. I don't know who Carl is picking. He doesn't know who I am picking. And to some degree, we're also going to give our reasons on the fly. Now, we've probably prepared with some information and stats, but for the most part, we're also going to just tell you guys why we truly enjoy these players. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. Now, Cooper's Coffee House, congratulations on your new BGC branch. You guys need to check out their cafe. Their brown butter latte is awesome. Ube latte is awesome. And recently, I've gotten to try the brown butter cold brew. So if you're looking for a quick snack, a quick drink to make the afternoon go by faster, check out Cooper's Coffee House. They have many branches. There's a branch at SM Mega Mall that's really nice. Alabang as well, One Ayala, and like I said, BGC just opened. And also, another partner of the podcast is Daily Fantasy. Now, Daily Fantasy has an exciting promo that they're running till November 30. You get the chance to potentially fly to Los Angeles for the 2026 NBA All Star Weekend festivities. And hey, they're gonna have those events at the Intuit Dome. This apparently futuristic, magnificent, wonderful, humongous, big new arena courtesy of Steve Ballmer. Now, only if the Clippers started playing better, right? But the All Star festivities there should be great. They just announced a new format as well, the specifics of the new format, and I'm excited for its potential. So, how do you potentially make it to Los Angeles for All Star Weekend? Well, all you gotta do is register for a daily fantasy account or play if you already have an account. And they have multiple NBA coin contests 10, 50, 100. So you go check it out. You can enter multiple teams per contest. And each time you enter a team is one raffle entry. But remember, you only have till November 30. So go check it out as soon as you can. We'll be back shortly with Carl. Don't go anywhere. And you once again with another clutch victory. Kudos to them. They're 10 and 2. And the game before that, the USC Garland Tigers finally snapped their losing streak. Now here we are. It's gonna be a action-packed weekend as well. But before we get there, Carl and I are going to talk about who we think are the 10 best players in the league today. Carl, have you done your homework?
Of course, of course. You gave me a lot of time to think and not a lot of research. It's more of I like numbers. Let's get it out of the way. I like numbers, but sometimes the eye test is the best way to describe things. So let's see how it goes.
Absolutely. Now, the dynamics of the game, it's going to be very simple. I'm going to go with pick one. You go pick two. So the odd numbers go to me. The even numbers go to you. We'll make five picks each. And if the other person has already picked a player, that player is no longer in the pool available to be selected, which should make things rather interesting because I feel like there might be players that Carl might have as number seven and I might have as number three or vice versa. But anyway, I'm gonna go first now. And I'm not sure if this is going to surprise you, Carl, or surprise a lot of people. But, oh, and I should mention, FSAs are allowed here in this list. We don't have a separate best FSA award, should I say. My number one, the best player I think in the UAP today is Jake Figueroa of the NU Bulldogs. I think he's the best two-way player in the league. He is the most valuable player on the team that is leading the UAAP 10-2. They've only lost to one team. When you look at his package and what he can do on the court, there's very few, if any at all, that he can't do. He's improved as a scorer over the years. He even has that very reliable step back jumper nowadays. He's making 3 pointers at a better rate. He's one of the few guys I trust at the free throw line. He's unselfish. He has been making some clutch plays for his teammates down the stretch of games as of late. And the defense is there. One of the best steals, man, in the UAP, but the defense goes beyond just steals and blocks. He is great with deflections. He fills passing lanes, makes passes harder to catch for some of the better players of the other team. An underrated rebounder, in my opinion, can score inside, can score outside. Like I said, the overall package. And the numbers are very impressive as well. The season, Jake Figueroa in 12 games, 14.8 points a contest, shooting 41% from the field. Also, 7.7 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 2.3 steals, a block. Now, the turnovers, that's when sometimes it can get tricky because he gives up three a game. But given how often he handles and initiates for NU, I think we can forgive him for that. The free throw shooting 75% for the college game, I would say that's pretty impressive. And there's just a reliability and trust factor to Jake when he's on the court that more often than not leads to wins. And if you want to question that, well, just look at NU's record.
And I completely understand that Jake Figueroa is. I think I've been high on Jake Figueroa so far this season. I think it was during the PBA episode that we did involving the UAP players. That one I had Jake as the most PBA ready player in the UAP this season by far. The offense is understandable. He sometimes stagnates, and that's fine. It's part of it. It's the college game. But what you cannot really teach when it comes to the pros is the defense. Defense is a hustle thing, and it's also an IQ thing because you know when to intercept the passes, you know when to gamble, you know when to go to closeouts, you know when to trust your man. So Jake Figueroa is as the number one best player in the UAP. It's not even a question to me.
How interesting that we got here. I remember before last season, season 87, in the Pinoy Liga Collegiate Cup Finals, there was a really entertaining game between De La Salle University and the NU Bulldogs. And this was DLSU full stacked. A lot of people say we didn't get to watch Baclaan and Cortez play with Kevin Kemba, what could have been. But interestingly enough, in that game, KQ played with Baclaan and Cortez. I'm not sure if Phillips was in town for that game, but I think he was, but I'll have to double check. But nevertheless, they faced an NU team with a lot of seniors, the seniors we see now. They're not as good, or they were not as good as they are now, like Manansala, Enriquez, Figueroa, but they were already still pretty good. And one of my main takeaways from that game was in the late fourth quarter situation, Jake Figueroa was going mano a mano against Kevin Kimball. And I just had this thought in my head. I'm like, after KQ leaves, I think Jake has the chance to be at least one of the best players in the UAP, maybe the best. And I feel like he's catapulted himself now to the position where, just from an overall package, to me, he's the best guy in the UAP. And you have to give him a lot of credit for that. A lot of praise because it definitely involved a lot of hard work, but it also involved a lot of patience. Because Jake was a high school MVP for Adamson a few years ago. Committed to Adamson, decided to commit to NU after. But he wasn't highly touted as a lot of the recruits out of high school who immediately we say, oh, that's going to be a star, or oh, he's going to be a mythical five candidate right away. Kind of like how Jeron did it, kind of like how Kiefer did it, and I'm sure there were a few others that I forget right now. But he bid his time. At first, he was a role player, and then he started taking on more responsibility. And now he's added that final layer. which I thought, or I personally wanted to see most from him, which is late game situations, game on the line, put the ball in your hands, make plays to make your team win. And he's been doing that. And because of that, including the other things I mentioned, Jake Figueroa is my number one. And now number two, Carl, it's your turn.
Now I'm in a pickle because I it's controversial. I think it would be very controversial for me to say it, but
Do
by
you
the
need
look at your face.
a Cooper's matcha to get your brain working right now?
No, I got my matcha today. I had it earlier today, so I'm good.
Okay,
But
that's good. That's good. Some
it's more
brain
of a
power.
yeah, hell yeah. No, but this one's more. It's worrisome because I think people might take it the wrong way as me disrespecting this player,
Okay.
but it's really not.
On a
It's really not a
level
disrespect.
on a level of UST is my number five to Ateneo will go an undefeated 5-0. How crazy is what you're about to say?
I don't think it's personally. I don't think it's really that crazy. It's just something that people haven't been talking about. I would say it's not in the main discourse of the UAP this season. With that in
Okay.
mind, let's
Paul
leave it at that.
Francisco?
No, I am a fan of his game, but no. So my number two guy. Let's go to UST. I'm going with Colin Sakoe over Mike Phillips.
Oh,
That's the thing. That's
okay.
what I was. That's the thing.
Make the case. Akowe over Phillips. I want to hear the case. I'm very curious.
Because we know, let's be honest, the consensus conversation around Mike Phillips is if Jake Figueroa wasn't in the UAAP, he would arguably be the number one player in a lot of people's eyes. But the way that Colin Sakoe dominated the season, at least for the first four games, because later on, obviously, he's going to get checked. And we did see him get checked. He has been checked for the most part, but not entirely. But the thing with Colin Sakoe is
He got checked. I thought he signed with the three stripes. Sorry, I was practicing my dad jokes. Anyway, go for it.
you're very ready, ah. Now,
Maybe a
but
little
with
too much
Collins,
caffeine.
that you got too much. No, but with Collins, it's if you wanted someone who's a two-way player that you can rely on both ends, I would go with Collins over Mike right now because it's controversial because Mike is the heart and soul of the DLSU Green Archers, and I understand why he's beaten my team, my Ateneo Blue Eagles many times, and it hurts me. It still does, but looking at how Collins has been for UST, how crucial he has been, it's just his first season and he's already this good. We have a monster in España. And I am not excited for the next four seasons of the UAP because Collins, I would say, has the footwork of third year Ange Kwame. Third year, not fourth
Mm.
year, fifth year. That's far away for Collins. But in terms of offensive talent, Collins is my guy. It has to be him over Mike. Now on the defense, this is where it gets interesting because people will say, "But Mike, he does the better defending. He's a better team player," and I understand that. I see that. But with UST's success, they wouldn't have that hot of a start if Collins wasn't in the front court or if he wasn't leading the charge. Now, Mike is still limited in certain aspects. Like there are times when he gets gassed out, and I can see it because he's been running the whole way through. He is motor Mike. He rarely looks tired, but I'm pretty sure he gets tired too. He's just a man, but still motor Mike. In that regard, I think Collins is already at least on his level on defense, at least on Mike's level. But the offensive part of Mike Collins Okowe's game puts him above Mike Phillips, at least for me.
So, the news I have for you right now is you're probably going to get the chance to take Mike Phillips at four if he's next on your board. Because
Interesting.
on my board, I had Mike Phillips as number three. Just quickly to your point about Akowe, I like the footwork. You're right. That's impressive. The footwork is good when he has space, though. Now, the footwork can struggle from time to time when he faces a double team or a triple team. I do feel that as a rim protector, he's okay. Mike is probably better at this point, just because I feel like at least right now Mike has quicker reflexes and can get off his feet faster. But where Mike separates himself from Colin for me is defending out in the perimeter. Because I'm not sure if you've noticed this or if our viewers have noticed this. If you look at a lot of late game offense for teams taking on UST, they're targeting a Cohen ball screen actions. And a lot of times he's on drop. Sometimes he comes up a bit, but they tend to target him because they feel that's their best chance to score. Now, that's something Collins will have to work on, the perimeter defense, the foot speed. Mike, you can't exactly target him because he can come out there, he can trap, he's good at poking the ball away. He'll build a wall to take away your penetration. So I think defensively, that just quickly to the Mike versus Collins point, I think that's what separates Mike a little more. Free throw shooting, it would be interesting to see both of them in a free throw shooting contest. Like, your life on the line or the aliens are about to take over. Who are you trusting if a free throw contest would determine the fate of the universe? Mike or Collins, right? Let us know in the comments, guys. So, my number three, who was my number two? From the UP Fighting Maroons, Harold Alarcon. I see your face. Oh my god, I wish I wish people got to see your face. Okay, hear me
Dude.
out.
Okay, okay, fine. I'll let you have the
Hear me
floor on
out.
this one. Interesting.
Name me, rather I'm gonna ask you a question. Name me something Harold Alarcon cannot do on the court.
The short answer to that without rambling, which I usually do, is no. Not much.
The only thing is being a rim protector. That's it. Defense, he can stay on his assignments. He can play fill the gap, help at the nail when required. He can double, he can pressure. And on the other end, he is fantastic. Great three-point shot, reliable at the free throw line. If when you watch him work ball screen actions, he goes left and he goes back right and he steps back and he goes back right. It is dizzying for the defender. He can hit midi pull-ups. He hits these Kiefer Ravenna like turnaround jumpers. He gets to the rim, can finish with both the right hand and the left hand. Coach Willie Wilson, an analyst for the UAAP and the Phoenix Wheel Masters head coach, told me early this season that there's no one he trusts more in transition one on one than Harold Alarcon. Just because he can beat you in so many ways. And you know what's the most impressive part? In addition to the fact that he's becoming quite the closer, that UST game was awfully impressive. You cannot speed up Harold Alarcon. He plays the game at his pace, he plays the game at his speed, and the style he wants to. But that doesn't mean there's only one style or one pace. He can go slow and he can go fast, and he can go somewhere in between. And just the way he's evolved these games this season, Alarcon would be my number two for this list, number three. And I actually feel pretty good about that.
And I respect it. That's a hell of a pick. I think I think when people talk about the top players in the UAP, it's usually seniority or the flashy plays or the big schools, quote unquote. But picking Harold Alarcon at that spot, naming him the number three guy in the UAP, I completely get it. I understand it. It might not be my thought on it, but I respect it.
I mean, sometimes there are players who just step up to the moments, and that UST game was an awesome example.
Turned it Harold
By the
Alarcon
way,
turned into Prime Kubi for that one.
oh yeah, I have one more take I want to get out, but first I want to read some stats. You mentioned Akobe as your number two. Akobe averaging 17.7 points, 15.2 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 1.6 blocks, 2 turnovers a contest. He is shooting 54% from the field and 54% from the free throw line. He's taken 113 free throws this season. He's made 61. Meanwhile, Harold Alarcon of the Fighting Maroons, who we picked number three, 12 points, 3.9 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.5 steals a game, shooting 36% from the field, 75% from the free throw line, 22% from downtown. When you look at the stats, it doesn't seem very impressive, right? At least when you consider I said he's my number two. But I watch the game and I look at just more than the stats and I see impact plays and winning plays, and he makes a lot of them. Okay, Carl, you're number four. Should I prepare his stats already?
Nah, I got it pulled up actually. So it's Mike
Okay.
Phillips. We have to give it to Mike right now. I cannot. It would be a total disservice to Mike and the DLSU community if I let him go past four at this point, and he has to be up there. He's a top 10 guy at minimum. At best, he's a top five guy. So for me, at least number four. So Mike Phillips, let's do the numbers. So let's give him his just due. So on the field goal aspect, Mike Phillips is shooting at 44.12% from the field. An okay 50% from the field, 33 out of 66 from the free throw line. And then the points, 12.4 per game. Rebounds is at 14.5, big numbers. 3.5 assists, 1.5 steals, zero point 0.8 blocks, and then 2.6 turnovers in 10 starts. So I think it goes without saying at this point that Mike Phillips is going to be one of the best players of his generation. I think he already is at this point. It's more of a matter of can he add an offensive game to his defense? Because the defense, we have no question about it. I think the point, like what I mentioned earlier, as to why Mike slid down in my personal list is he's limited on offense, and I understand it because right now he's being asked to be the enforcer in defense, to be the main guy on defense for Lasal, to anchor that. But on offense, I'm hoping that there will come a time when Mike Phillips will take a three and make it with no issue at all, and I will be cheering at home while watching him doing it. So the future's bright for Mike. He's already up there. But again, the offense, I want to see him, maybe he can become an international wing. Possible, I think. That's his upside to me.
Can't go wrong with Mike. Goes without saying how good he is. I forgot to give you my take about Harold. One last. I just want to slip that in real quick.
Go.
I think Alarcon is the best one-on-one perimeter scorer we've seen in the UAAP since Kiefer Ravena.
I respect it. I completely
Perimeter, ah.
respect it.
So we're not talking about guys who score in post-ups or guys who like doing most of their damage at the rim. I'm talking about guys who work from the three-point line and beyond and then get to the mid-range or pull up from downtown. I think since Kiefer Harrell is the closest I've seen, some of those pro-like moves are awesome. So now we're in a bit of a pickle at number five. To recap, we've had number one, Jake. I picked Jake Figueroa. Carl at number two picked Colin Sokoe, not Paul Francisco, surprisingly. And then at number three, I picked Harold Alarcon. At number four, Carl picked Michael Phillips. So at number five, now you can't really go wrong with a lot of the options, but if I had to pick the best of the bunch, I'm gonna go with Jacob Cortez of the De La Salle Green Archers. I am. Jacob Cortez, his numbers this season: 15 points, 3.1 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 1.3 steals, 2.4 turnovers a game, shooting 44% from the field, 70% from the foul line. Surprisingly, just 24% from three-point range, 9 out of 38. So those numbers rather, could be even better if the three-point shots are falling in. But some of Jacob's ability to make these crazy shots, crossover left, crossover right, behind the back, pull up jump shot. He goes and uses the glass very well in some of these like 12 to 15 foot jumpers. Can score inside, can push the pace in transition, crafty underneath the rim. Doesn't need a lot of athleticism to score. Can make the right plays. Like Alarcon, he plays at his pace. You can't really speed him up. You can force him to make turnovers sometimes, yes, but the ball security, at least you can rely on him. And I just like how he can control the game. To me, he is what you'd expect from a lead guard in college basketball in the Philippines today. Someone who can score, can penetrate, create for others, keep the ball secure, and just be a leader. on the court. So Jacob Cortez is my number five. Who's your number six?
Now it gets interesting because number six, this guy, I originally had him as my number four guy, but now he slid down, obviously. So number six, it's Nick Cabanero.
He was the other guy I was thinking about. Yeah.
I was thinking, it's just when you watch Nick, there are times when I wonder whether he will ever take that next step. And this season, I think he has to a certain degree because he's been the top dog for UST when it comes to clutch situations, aside from Fort Skip Padrigao and Kyle Paranada. Those two, they can facilitate, they can give the ball to everyone else. But now, if you want a takeover guy in the UAAP, aside from Jake, let's get that clear, and Harold Alarcon, I would trust Nick Cabanero, number three out of those three guys. So, Nick, total offensive package. I still have a problem with him not going to his right hand. He goes to his left often. Or am I mixing it? Because my wires are getting crossed. But there's one direction that you can always put him in. He will get lost on offense. He will cost you a turnover, and I hope he fixes that very very soon. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Nick Cabanero is one of the most terrifying offensive options in the UAAP. Help defense solid. He's gotten better in that over the past few years. And now it's just up to him whether he can. My problem with Nick is he has tendencies to shoot the ball. He can shoot UST out of a game sometimes, and I think that comes with his scorer's mentality. But if he can tone it down by just a little bit in certain situations, I think he's in a good spot to be a star in the pros.
The season so far, Nick Cabanero, 17.7 points, 5.9 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 1.3 steals a contest, 2 turnovers a game, shooting 46% from the field, but only 17.5, 7 out of 40 from downtown, and 30 out of 53, 56.6% from the free throw line. He's really good inside the 3-point line. He has a couple of crafty finishes. He can score on mid range pull ups more as of late. You're right, there are times he can force the issue a little bit or hold on to the ball a little too long, and that can hurt his team sometimes. But you can make the case that without him, UST would sink into a non-Final Four team. That's how important his scoring and contributions are to the team. He's a demon in transition. When he has the ball, that it's like a freight train almost, right? Coming down on these freshmen and sophomores, and you can just see them bracing for impact, and they end up fouling him. But the free throws have to be better, and if he wants to be a really, really good pro, the 3-point shooting needs to be better as well. Not by that much, but needs to be better than 17.5%. Nevertheless, he helps you more than he harms you, and USD is fortunate to have him. So Nick Cabanero at 6, taken by Carl. At number 7, I'm taking Kimani Ladi at this point. And if we played this dynamic when the season just started, Kimani would probably be a little bit higher, which I'm not sure is fair because when Divine was injured, he really played out of position, but when we saw him in that UE game, he looked more like himself to some degree. His averages this season 14.3 points, 7.6 rebounds, 1.8 assists a game, shooting 37% from the field, 26% from downtown on 61 shot attempts, but 82% from the free throw line. I like that he's reliable from the charity stripe. That's very important. We know he's a solid jump shooter, but I think with Kimani at this point, the question at least I have is, what else can you show us beyond your ability to knock down mid-range shots or outside shots? Can you get to the rim more? You're such a good free throw shooter, but so far you have attempted only 28 free throws through 12 games. So that's just a little over 2 free throws a game, if you think about it, right? Wait, is my math correct? 28 free throws,
Around
yeah.
14.
Four, sorry, 14? No.
12, wait, 12.
Wait, Ateneo hasn't played 12 games. NU has
No,
played.
yeah,
He's played 10
yeah.
games.
10
Kimani
games.
has. So, 28 free throws in 10 games. That's 2.8
About
free throws a
2.8.
game.
Yeah.
So, that means he's getting fouled once, maybe twice a game. But because of the ability he has to shoot, he should attract defenders more and attack closeouts more and get people off balance. And he needs to get to the free throw line more. Now, that I think is the next step in his evolution if he wants to be a quality pro. I've also noticed that teams now are trying to take away his right side more, try to drive him left, and that's a counter he'll need to develop. From this list that we have below five, when I ask myself, six to ten, who has the most potential to climb up to the top five? To me, the answer is Kimani, but we need to see the counters that he has from to the counters that are being thrown to him. I think seven's a solid spot for him, though.
No, that's completely fair. Kaimani's he's just that guy for Ateneo. Like without Kaimani, Ateneo would be I don't know. They wouldn't be a French Final Four team. That's for damn sure. They would be around seven, closer to eight possibly, but not UE level. No disrespect to UE. Let's make that clear. So let's go to number eight. Ready?
Go for it.
All right. So number eight. Oh, it hurts my heart. I hate this. It's Ray Remogat from the UP Fighting Maroons.
Okay, okay.
Now, I think I drew some heat from a lot of fans in one of our earlier episodes because I criticized Ray Remogat heavily at that time because UP was 0 and 2. I said that Ray Remogat, if ever he doesn't find his footing, UP will be missing the Final Four. Now, full credit to Ray Remogat and the rest
Wait,
of
did you say
UP
UE
Fighting
or
Maroons.
UP?
UP, I said UP. I said UP, I made that clear. Oh, I'm gonna get so much heat. Nah. But going back to UP and Ray Remogat, they shut me up really good. And I think that's the thing sometimes where someone I don't I don't like saying it out loud because sometimes you will get criticized for it. But in this instance, I think it helped them a lot in knowing that someone's noticing that they got flack from a certain guy who talks too much apparently. But for Ray, this season has been a complete revelation for him after turning UP season around nearly single-handedly. Because let's be honest, Francis Nuruko has helped him a lot. But now going to the stats of Ray Remogat in 8 starts out of 11 games, Ray Remogat is shooting 37.5 from the 3-point line,
Very good.
72 72% out of 72 attempts. And then 2-point field goals, you have him at 48.28 for a grand total of 40.59% from the field. 5 out of 7 from the free throw line. You don't expect him to go to the free throw line that much. So 71.43 on that regard. And then for the rebounds, 42, 47 assists, 15 total steals. Wow. And then 29 turnovers. Now, the 29 turnovers, that's forgivable. That's for completely forgivable because he is the scoring machine of UP. And he's been taking some Damian Lillard-esque shots. That's been quite honestly frustrating me because he's not supposed to make those, but he makes those. And that's completely, completely respectable. And kudos to him. He's one of the best guards right now in the UAP.
Can't go wrong with the pick. Ray Mogat at 8. Now at number 9, I wanted to go John Abate, but because John is injured for the season, we're not going to include him in the list to make room for others who are still playing too. By the way, John, get well soon. I had some other options for this choice at number 9. I was thinking maybe Mo Konate. I was thinking maybe Sed Manzano. And I was thinking maybe Precious Mamuwe. Who else was I considering? Manansala to some degree because I feel like his impact goes beyond the stats. I was also considering Francis Naruka to some degree and Gani Stevens. But ultimately, Carl, I landed on January Pasaol. I couldn't let this list go without January being mentioned. The season, 15.8 points a game in his second season, shooting 38% from the field, 24% from downtown, 71% from the free throw line, 4.6 rebounds, 7.4 assists, 1.9 steals a game, plus 39, a team best in his 331 minutes on the court for the FEU Tamaraws. It's insane to me this guy is only a sophomore. He's gonna be so good 2 years from now. He's gonna be the premier point guard of the UAAP unless we have some blue chip recruit or someone like who knows, from the NCAA who might transfer to the UAP again. Oh man, I hope I don't get into trouble for that. But yeah, January Pasaol, just stupendous. Can penetrate. His field goal shooting has really taken a turn for the worse as of late. But overall, his impact on the court, you feel it. How he can create for others, how the threat of his outside shot creates so much gravity for his teammates to attack, how he can handle the ball, how he's not afraid to go at anyone, how he does a good job getting to the free throw line as well. Just such a fearless player. He's taken 56 free throws in 11 games, and he's shooting 51% from the field. The second guy on the team to get the most free throws is Mo Konate at 43, and that's the FSA of the squad. Everything about Pasaol, not everything maybe, but I would say 80 to 85% of what Pasaol has done this season has been very impressive. Again, the efficiency could use some work, but if you're an FEU fan, you just have to be super excited for what he can do.
FEU, I'm gonna put it out there as early as now. FEU is a dark horse for next season. Let's leave it at that. Anyways,
They're
let's
number
close this out.
two.
No,
I
I mean
had
next season.
yeah, next season I think they're number two next to UP entering
Yeah,
the
that's fair.
season.
That's fair.
When you look at the
I have them
rosters.
2-3. 2-3 has to be.
All right, who's your last but not the least?
All right, let's close this out. I actually had. I'll be honest. I had John Abate at 10 because man, UE just looks completely different without him there. I'm so sad. But let's close this out. Let's go to Adamson, and I'm gonna take Cedric Manzano.
Okay, I like that.
Cedric Manzano, total monster. Not a monster in the conventional sense of the word. It's just that he's there. He just won't go away when he's on the floor. And Adamson has been needing every bit of his effort on the floor. Now going to the stats, he's been shooting 48.21% out of what is this? What is the total of this? 102 2-point field goal attempts, 10 from the three. Free throw percentage isn't even bad. It's 72.73. That's great for a grand total of 12.18 points. So that's 12.18. And then for the rebounds, it's at 6.91 per game. Assist is 2.18. Steals 1.27, blocks 0.91, turnovers 2.45. And Adamson, it's going to be a tight race to the Final Four with Adamson nipping at the heels of the Ateneo de Manila Blue Eagles. But Cedric Manzano is the guy I've been gushing over him as a player because he's just one of those effort guys that I enjoy watching my effort guys. So Cedric, full props to you, man.
So to recap, 1 to 10, and good thoughts there on Cedric. Just something to add. I like how he can defend without leaving the floor so much. His feet can stay grounded, but he can still really bother shots, which is good because that means that you don't draw a lot of tiki tack fouls. Now sometimes he likes making sundot and he gets into foul trouble, which is something that I'm sure will be cleaned up when he gets to the pros. And the jump shot could use some work, but overall he has good touch around the rim. He has a nifty reverse layup either way that he relies on. The free throw shooting also needs to improve, but the body of a pro is there. So just to recap real quick, number one, I chose Jake the Snake Figueroa. I really hope that nickname will stick. At number two, Carl went with Colin Sakoe, who is the leader of the UAAP SP's statistical points race so far this season. Would be the MVP, but instead he'll get the best FSA award. But he is likely, more than likely, to win Rookie of the Year. Number three, where I apparently shocked Carl, I went with Harold Alarcon. Number four, he went with Michael Phillips. Number five, I chose Jacob Cortez. Number six, Carl, you chose a blanking right now. Nick Cabanero. Yeah, Nick
Banero.
Cabanero. Number seven, I took Kimani Ladi. Number eight, Carl selected. Wait, would you select at eight? I'm blanking again.
It was oh my god. Who did I
How do
go
we
to?
forget this so fast?
It was Rene Mogat.
Raider Mogat, there you go, man. I'm
Jesus.
getting old.
What a day.
Num- number nine, I selected January Pasol, and number 10, he went with Sed Manzano. Carl did. Who are some of the names that did not make the list that you think deserves an honorable mention? I would say Gani, yes. Francis Naruka, Precious Momoway. Mo Konate, Jorg
Montebon.
Bautista,
Montebon would have
Montebon,
been.
yeah.
So he's
Yeah.
on the honorable mention list.
Okay, let's go
We
team
already
by
mentioned
team.
Jorg.
Dominic Escobar,
Possible, yeah. I
Healthy
wanted
Jared
Sean,
Bahay.
but no.
I guess Sean Tuano, honorable mention, yeah. Healthy Jared Bahay,
Hmm.
Baclan and Cortez if they were healthy. No, Baclan and Amos if they were healthy. Hmm. Like we
And
said, John
you,
Abate,
Jonah.
NU Manansala, I think is an honorable
Yeah.
mention.
PJ Palacielo, no?
Oh yeah, PJ Palacielo, honorable mention for sure. He would be in the top 15 if we
I
make.
have to agree. I have to
Yeah, he
agree.
would be in the top 15. Forsky Padrigao
Yep.
would have been higher if the shooting was more efficient. Jello Crisostomo, honorable mention. I think he'll be top 10 by next season.
Welo? Nah, hindi.
Nah, I can't put
Not
Wello
really. Not
there. No.
really.
Not really, yeah. Probably top 20 Wello. Or
Yeah,
top
that's
25.
possible. That's fair. That's fair.
Where would Paul
UP, am I
Francisco rank
forgetting?
for you? Top 25, top 30? Francis Naruka, UP.
Yeah, Francis Naruga has to be there. Paul Francisco, top 15, bro. What do you mean?
First round pick, Paul Francisco. Mr.
Hey, I'm turning out
Daggers.
right. I'm turning out right, man.
Hey, you have that 5-0 Ateneo prediction. You also place on the record.
It's alive. The streak is alive. Let's keep that clear. The streak is alive. It's not Saturday yet. I have time.
But yeah, one of my main takeaways is there's so much talent in the UAAP today, man. It's insane, and we just gotta appreciate it while it's here. Okay, Carl, USD Ateneo on Saturday. Quick thoughts. What to expect?
It's going overtime. Minimum. At the bare minimum, it's going overtime.
So you want to go
Not
four
triple.
overtimes this time?
Let's not go for three because a good friend of mine, one of the assistant coaches of UST, Jed Austria, for the women's team, he was very mad at the triple overtime game for Ateneo UST for the men's. The women started super late. I think they started around 8:30 or 9 in the
Oh
evening.
my lord.
It was terrible. So it's going OT, but not triple OT. Just one.
Okay, okay. I think that's a big game. I mean, duh. But um, big in terms of it's the kind of game that as early as now, I anticipate that when we look back at the standings at the end of the elims, we're gonna point at that game and be like, "Oh, that's why that team got in. That's why the team was sent home packing early." So it's gonna feel like a Final Four atmosphere. Smart
It's gonna
Araneta
be wild.
Coliseum, Ateneo and UST both fighting for Final Four, a stronger Final Four chance. It's gonna be electric. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Carl, thanks so much for joining me. Always a pleasure having you. Big thanks to our friends over at Daily Fantasy and Cooper's Coffee House for the partnership and the support. Much love, and we'll see you all next time.